Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. So tonight, I'm going to try getting through, 5 stories. We'll see how it works out. You know, I'll read them. I probably am going to give minimal comments, and I'm probably going to read just the top comment just to see if I can make it through these 5 stories, because I think they're all really worthwhile stories to tell. Alright, let's get started. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Buying My Girlfriend a Diamond Ring? My girlfriend and I were talking about getting engaged, and I wanted her to be happy with her engagement ring, so I took her to a local jeweler's. She picked out a $2,600 ring with a lab-grown diamond, which was thankfully cheaper than the real thing. But it was still insanely expensive for a ring. We agreed on saving to retire early, but now she wants a crazy expensive ring? Interrobang. She told me that she wants that one since it will be forever and she doesn't want to settle for a less nice ring. I tried to convince her to go for a cheaper ring, but she wouldn't go for it. I went back to the jeweler and the lady said it could be done with a quartz for $1,200, so it would be less than $1,400 total. I thought that would be fine since it was exactly the same. I proposed with a quartz ring and she looked super happy and accepted. I didn't conceal the fact that it was quartz, but I didn't tell her at the proposal either. If she wants to marry me with a ring that looks exactly the same but with a different stone, this shouldn't be a deal breaker. Well, she lost some weight this summer and went back to the jeweler to get it refitted and found out from them that it was not a diamond. She was super angry and said I lied to her. I told her that she got the receipt, but it didn't say that it was a ring with a diamond, and it was $1,400, so did she think that it was a diamond at that price? She said I totally overpaid for a quartz ring, and I told her it was because she pressured me into getting the style that she wanted. I had to pay whatever the jeweler wanted for that style of ring since I couldn't find it elsewhere. She's been extremely cold to me over the last few days. Alright, folks, what do you think here? Do you think that OP was justified in swapping out the stones?
No.
Was this the heist of a century? What I think here is that Amber says no, by the way. I don't know if you heard her shouting in the background. Amber and I are both in agreement here that this is pretty odd. I guess he gave her the receipt and she knew that it was a $2,400 rings, but maybe she thought he got it on sale. I don't know. You took her to go ring shopping. You had her pick out the ring. She picked out the ring that she wanted, and it even had the stone that she wanted. Now, you mentioned that you want to retire early and that you're afraid that this $2,400 ring is going to stop you from doing that. Well, if this one ring is going to be the thing that stops you from retiring, then you probably have bigger financial issues at hand. This is just, one expense. So I do think that you're a jerk in this situation. It does feel a little deceptive, especially since you got her the same ring, but with a stone that was swapped out. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I think here. I think that was a bit deceptive. Anyhow, take care and good luck. You're the jerk. I don't think you're mature enough to get married. You're not going to retire for years. This is the ring that she will wear for the rest of her life, and you couldn't even be honest with her. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not buying gifts for my ex's child? X and I share a 16-year-old son together. 6 years ago, he cheated on me and got the other woman pregnant, and I filed for divorce. They got married straight after, but broke up and then got back together. Right now, they are still together, but the relationship is turbulent, to say the least. Because of this, they often find themselves in financial difficulty, and their recently turned 6-year-old daughter is suffering because of it. I am not part of her life. I never could be after he cheated. My son is kind of the same. He was old enough to realize that his dad was moving out in with another woman who was giving him a baby sibling meant that dad had likely cheated. I put him in therapy, but I never had it in me to be part of his half-sister's life, even if it meant that he didn't make much of an effort to get close to her. The last year has hit everyone hard, but from what my son has said, X has been hit very hard. Things went downhill in his house, and he spent thousands of dollars fixing the roof, then a plumbing issue, and now a broken window. It was X's daughter's 6th birthday 2 weekends ago. X's parents always took care of getting my son a gift from his half-sister, but they never really got much. X emailed me about our son and dropped stuff about me buying his daughter gifts in the same emails. We needed to discuss medical stuff about our son. I told him I would not be buying gifts when he kept dropping it in despite me ignoring him. My son said his half-sister basically got nothing for her birthday. Nothing special anyways, and she was sad. My ex told me it was my fault and I should have gotten her something as the mom of her brother. I was venting to one of my friends about it, and she said my ex is kind of right. That she was the fair child and ended up in the spot of never being wanted as her half-siblings and feeling the impact of less people making less effort. Am I the jerk? What do you folks think? I am inclined to say no, OP is not the jerk. Amber agrees. Here's the thing. This was an affair child who you were never part of. There was never any connection there. This would be like a stranger coming up to you and saying, "Oh, you should get a gift for my child." I mean, yeah, it was your ex, for sure. But after you are broken up with your ex, you don't owe them anything. You don't owe their child anything. These problems that they're having are their problems, not yours. And it's unfortunate that this little girl is, suffering because of this, but you are under no obligation to get her anything. If you wanted to, you could, but you are, again, under no obligation to form a relationship with her and to support her, plain and simple. So, yeah, you're not the jerk. Not the jerk. I really think the word audacity fits the situation. You're not the child's mommy or auntie. She's the kid of a side piece who backstabbed a married woman. You have zero responsibility to do anything other than not be mean to the kid or not block your son's relationship with the kid. Demanding that you spend your money to please her kid? No. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not wanting to change our newborn's diaper at night? My partner and I have a 5-week-old baby who is exclusively breastfed. He will wake up 3 or 4 times a night to nurse for a 20 to 40 minute period of time. My argument is that she's already awake to nurse, so shouldn't she do the diaper changes too? I have offered to do half of the diaper changes, but that's not enough for her. My partner thinks that I should do all of the nighttime diaper changes since she is breastfeeding. Her argument is that she's nursing a baby at night and day. It's only fair. She says she needs time to go to the bathroom, drink water, etc., while I am changing the diaper. In her view, I am often grouchy, need to be asked multiple times to get up, and sometimes argue even if he needs to be changed. Relevant information. We are both on parental leave right now, and when I go back to work in construction, I need a full 8 hours of sleep. She will be on leave for the next 18 months. We go to bed at 9 p.m., and I get up with our dogs at 6 a.m., and she's up with the baby an hour or 2 later. So Reddit, am I the jerk?
Yes.
Amber says yes. OP, why are you being so selfish? You are on parental leave. You are on paid parental leave. Be a parent. Do I need to say more? Why are you being so selfish with your time here? You're both, when you go back to work, you'll have a valid argument potentially for not wanting to do diaper changes in the middle of the night. But right now, you're supposed to be there supporting your wife, who just, if I may have to remind you, spent the last 40 weeks pregnant. Surely you can do a diaper change a night and help lessen the load of a newborn child for her. This is just mind-boggling that you are being this way. It just seems ridiculous. Help your wife. Help your wife. What do you folks think? Anyhow, take care and good luck. Hardcore, you're the jerk. Your wife is exhausted, physically and due to lack of sleep. You have no excuse, especially while you're on parental leave. She does need to use the bathroom, drink water, or whatever to take care of herself so she can take care of your son. Parenthood is about shared responsibility and partnership. You need to grow up and share the burden. Your wife is asking for help during an extremely mentally, emotionally, and physically fragile time. You have a brand new baby, if for no other reason than being a good husband in a time where she needs your support. Why would you reject that? Why would you expect her to shoulder all of it? Are you trying to train her for when you go back to work? I have bad news for you, Chief. But I need 8 hours of sleep excuse is incredibly selfish and you're due for a rude awakening. This is the time that you and your wife should be bonding as partners and as warriors locked shoulder to shoulder for an incredibly difficult job of raising a kid. It should be a time for you two to reaffirm your commitments to each other with compassion and support. This period will absolutely shape the tone and future of your marriage as well, and if you're planting really selfish seeds that tend to bloom into lovely turd blossoms down the path. There's only room for one baby in your family, and it's not you. Time to be a dad. It's hard, but tough. This is your moment to decide what kind of father and ultimately husband you want to be. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not attending my best friend's of over 30 years wedding because she invited my stalker? Edited for the content per mods. First time posting, but I need to know. I'm a 43-year-old female and my best friend, a 43-year-old female, is getting married. She asked me to be in the wedding. I knew her future husband, knew my stalker, Kevin. She's previously mentioned that they served on a committee together and were friendly, and asked if he was invited. She said yes, but has been so long and I should just forget it. Her future hubby has no real friends and needs a guest on his side. I informed her that it has been over for 20 years and Kevin, my stalker, a 43-year-old male, still tries to reach out on Facebook to find me. He's married with kids but still tries to harass me. I have 9 or so abandoned accounts. I moved across the country to flee. My BFF has witnessed too many incidents and knows that he still tries to reach out. I'm not sure what he would do exactly if he saw me. Am I the jerk for not going to her wedding? No. Amber and I agree. No, period. Her husband needs friends on his side. He does not need a stalker on his side to support him during this marriage. Plain and simple. Your friend is acting ridiculous. What do you folks think? Not the jerk, your BFF needs to understand that we are not talking about just a get over it situation, but an actual threat to your safety. Kevin is obsessed with you, and it's mind-blowing that your BFF is this naive. Don't go, even if they promise Kevin won't be there. It sounds like they would just lie, and that you will be confronted with him. You moved across the country for goodness sake. You didn't do that, so you would see him at your BFF's wedding. Doesn't matter that it's been 20 years, that isn't something you just forget. Edited ad, you shouldn't go to a place which makes you feel uncomfortable to begin with. You are not obligated to go to a wedding if you don't feel comfortable going, especially if you are actually scared, even if it's a family or close friend. Alright, our last letter is titled, Am I a jerk for losing my temper with my sister after she kept trying to get me to move in with her and her family? I'm a 27-year-old female and my sister is a 32-year-old female with 3 kids and married. When I graduated from high school, my parents decided they wanted to move back to their home state. I stayed with my sister for 2 years while I worked to save up money before going to college. While I'm grateful to my sister and her husband for letting me stay there, I had no privacy whatsoever. My sister charged me an outrageous amount of rent when she told my parents that she wasn't going to, nearly half of my small paycheck, and I was expected to watch and babysit my nieces and nephews at a moment's notice or just because. Like one morning, I woke up and not only my nieces and nephews were in the house, but their friends all in the house. My sister and her husband had left to go to New Orleans without telling me, and I was suddenly responsible for 3 kids plus their 4 friends' kids. They were gone for 2 days. I missed work because no one could watch the kids. I moved out as quickly as possible, and now I stay in a small apartment. It's not the best, but it doesn't have rats, roaches, and I have a roof over my head. I'm also currently working full-time instead of part-time. Lately, my sister has been on this kick about us moving back in together. I don't know what has brought this up. Maybe the fact that you are free babysitting and paying rent. Something about how in other cultures families live together forever or something. Her and her husband, because she wants you to babysit forever. This isn't about family, OP. This is about you being babysitting forever. Her and her husband have been making plans to move to Washington for better jobs and school. Let me just say I am happy with the small town we live in. Will I like to move one day? Yes, but on my own terms. She's been trying to convince me to come with them and live with them again. Each time I've declined because I know full well what will happen if I move back in with my sister. I have voiced my concerns before saying that I like living alone because I have my own space, peace and quiet, privacy, and I'm planning on going back to school in the fall. Also, I will not be a live-in babysitter for her kids ever again. She keeps saying those things are in the past. They aren't. I need to get over it. Yesterday, she sent me a link to a virtual house tour saying this was the house that they were thinking about buying and it had a separate apartment in the basement I could stay in. Also, she wouldn't charge me rent this time. Really? I doubt that. OP, they're setting you up to pay their mortgage. I admit it, I lost it. I even called her and told her, don't text, don't call, email me about moving in ever again. I don't want to move to Washington. I don't want to live with her. She called me ungrateful and claimed she only wanted to help me get out of this town. I hung up on her. My parents called me later on that day and said I needed to apologize because my sister only wanted us to stay together as a family and I didn't have to say what I said. Am I the jerk? No. No, you're not, OP. Your sister is looking out for number one. She's looking out for herself. She wants a free babysitter again. She wants someone to pay half her mortgage. And she's looking at you, OP, to do all that. So if you want to sign up for all of that joy again, feel free to move in with your sister. But no, you're not the jerk. And I think you had to say what you had to say to get her off your back. Anyhow, what do you folks think? Do you think this was an overreaction on OP's part? No. Or Amber says no, and I'm inclined to agree. But I'll see what you folks have to say in the comments below. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. She wants a babysitter. Tell your parents that she charged you rent and did not pay you for babysitting. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!
Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Buying Gaffs?